Cleveland.
It's time to give stuff away. Ooh, time to give stuff away.
Now, if you're a metal fan, want to go see Sepultura, they are calling it quits. They are doing their farewell North American tour, Celebrating Life Through Death is what it's called. WMMS 2 hours to midnight presenting the show with Obituary, Agnostic Front, and Claustrophobia rounding out the lineup. That's a good one. It's Tuesday, October the 8th, not far off, at the world-famous Agora. You can go to agoracleveland.com for all the details. A couple of tickets here for you, Sepultura and Company. For caller 10, 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Press the yellow button to begin enjoying your Alan.
What is an Alan?
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
Guardians playing again tonight. They beat the Reds last night here at home 6-1. We're down to the last 4 games of the regular season. 6:40 tonight. I thought maybe last night would get rained out, but I guess it did not. Maybe it ended before all that nonsense started. 6:40 tonight is your first pitch. We'll get you right into that. Guardians Reds on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. And then the last 3 games here at home of the regular season. Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Houston Astros. And then next weekend will be game 1 of the Guardians here at home. Games 1 and 2 here at home. Division series will be Saturday, October 5th. Game 2 will be Monday, October the 7th at Progressive Field. All those times and everything TBA. And then they'll hit the road for whatever else they need to do. Once October kicks in, you'll be able to use the promo code ERIE, as in the lake, for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company. So keep that in mind. The remainder of September, you can use the word Guardian. Sorry, I'm going to burp. Next week, I will have Sonic Temple passes for you, 4-day weekend stadium passes. Of course, they announced Metallica, your headliner for 2 of the nights, basically taking that Metallica tour and transplanting it to Sonic Temple, with Rob Zombie and Alice in Chains opening for them Friday and Sunday, respectively. Alice Cooper, they've announced Chevelle and I Prevail and Hollywood Undead, and there's 100+ bands for Sonic Temple. So next week I will have those passes for you for people asking me about that. I'll have passes for you to join Bill on the 26th of next month for the Oddfellows 2nd Annual Halloween Bash and Costume Contest. Will you be the lone judge for this?
I'm not the judge.
You're the host.
I'm the host.
But you'll have to. I have to imagine that they're going to want to deputize you as a judge. Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think I'm the judge.
Will you recuse yourself from it if they ask?
I do not want to be the judge.
Oh, but that's the fun part.
No.
Making a lot of people mad when you don't pick them.
I don't want to do that. I just want to be the guy that's there to have fun and do fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not judge.
Do you think that maybe they'll ask a DJ Pauly Moist to be a judge?
I don't know who their judges are.
All right.
It might be a secret ballot. I don't know. I'm meeting with them on Monday, so I'll find out on Monday.
Okay.
Or Tuesday.
All right. What will Halloween look like there, Mary? Or are you here or are you there for Halloween?
No, I'm here. It's like a Thursday. It's like in the middle of the week, I feel like. They're actually, my euchre club is doing a tournament on Halloween where they're like, hey, it's a $20 buy-in and then you wear a costume and play euchre. So I might do that if I don't have a show.
And what will your costume be?
I don't know yet. But they said it's a costume required to be in the tournament. Maybe I'll dress up like a card. Is that too on the nose?
I mean, it's pretty on the nose, but I mean, you're
Queen of
probably going to
Hearts.
be other people that are dressed as cards.
We can make a royal flush.
How many?
You're a comedian. You should be the queen of clubs.
Oh, I get it.
How many people in the euchre club?
There's
Their
a
monthly
lot,
dues?
dude. No, not at all. It's pickup. So you just show up every other Thursday and play a game. You can come with a partner. You come by yourself. Doesn't matter. And
It's like the VFW hall, or where is it?
No, it's at like a different bar or like a one of the parks in Brooklyn is called McCarran Park, and they have like this big park house, like a field house.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
got like bathrooms and a restaurant and coffee and stuff like that. So it changes every month.
So you don't necessarily know the other people that you'll be playing with.
No,
I see. It's just like
unless
a big.
you come with somebody. But yeah, they had their 1-year anniversary party last month, and there was probably like 75 or 100 people there. It was fun. It was really cool.
Euchre Club.
Euchre Club. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would maybe put some more thought into the costume.
Well, you don't know.
That's why I'm asking. Bill, are you dressing up for your thing?
Yeah, I'll be dressed up. I don't know as what yet, but I will figure something out.
Uh-huh. All right. Is that mandatory? You'll have to dress up? I mean, you don't want to just show up as a civilian? That's fun to always be the one guy who's not dressed up.
That's you. That's a you thing.
No, I'm the guy I show up and I just have regular clothes on and they go, "What are you?" And I go,
What was that?
I'm
2 years ago.
I'm a regular guy.
2 years ago or 3 years ago. When was it? We were in the new studio, so it had to have been 2022, maybe.
Yeah.
When I came full scarecrow, I had on the hat and the face paint
You
and
did.
everything, and nobody else was in
You
a
were the only
single
one.
costume.
Well, doesn't that tell you something? This is a place of business.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just was like, I guess that's not something that they do here.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
I've dressed up for a thing or two. I'm going to be doing a show on Halloween at High and Dry, and we're going to have it be like Halloween themed. And so everybody's going to be a comedian, but like a version of it. It's going to be like Andrew Dice Gay and stuff like that.
Andrew Dice Gay. Somebody's going to be Andrew Dice Gay.
It's not that. It's something else, but I there's going to be some fun
Hey,
ones.
I like bulls. I mean,
Hickory Doc.
Right, yeah.
Guess what? I'm gonna suck.
I mean, on the other side of those kinds of things, I don't know how you flesh out Andrew Dice Gay.
Actually, it's not Andrew Dice Gay. It's going to be something else.
Oh,
There
okay.
is going to be there's going to be a dice. There's going to be Dave Chapel-Roan.
Oh God! If I wear my fish costume, can I be Salmon Kinnison?
Oh.
Dude, absolutely. Please.
Are you gonna go as Kevin Fart?
That's funny.
Get it?
No.
It's fart jokes. Yeah.
No. Oh, you just tell fart jokes?
Yeah.
Oh, but what's the costume?
I don't know.
Blackface and then farting?
And short. You have to be shorter too.
You have to be short. Boy, there's a lot of boxes to check for this.
Amy Boomer, where you go up and you just do a bunch of like, my generation said.
There's already enough of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a lot of real comedians doing that. They're on Facebook, on Dry Bar. Speaking of comedians, Nate Bargatze going back to SNL. You know, they're getting ready to kick off the 50th season of Saturday Night Live. This is one of those shows that even I've given up on Saturday Night Live largely. I used to watch it religiously, way past its sell-by date, but even I kind of fell off. Just got burned one too many times. You know, even if you watch it the next day or something, you can zip through it and get to the end and be like, there's a lot of people writing for that show, boy, and that's what the end result is. Jean Smart, who's on a show called Hacks over on HBO that just won a bunch of awards. She's going to host this next weekend, I think. And then Nate Bargatze, who had a really funny episode when he did it. He will host. Michael Keaton will come to host. Mulaney will be back with Dave Chapel-Roan as the musical guest. Michael Keaton and Billie Eilish. Ariana Grande will host with Stevie Nicks. Nate Bargatze and Coldplay and Gene Smart and Jelly Roll. So there you go. And they're getting ready to drop that Jason Reitman Saturday Night Live movie pretty soon too. I don't know when that's coming out, but they're starting.
I think it starts rolling out in cities like New York and LA this weekend, and then wide next weekend.
Okay. It's weird to think of the people, you know, there are some pretty big names that have never hosted Saturday Night Live. And when you get to the 50th season, after a while, you got to feel like it was on purpose that nobody ever asked you to come do Saturday Night Live. Because if you go way back, I'm talking like the first 5 seasons, it's before the show had really kind of become a thing, obviously, they were having hosts that were, maybe some people knew who they were. And now they just grab people who are like very much of the moment. So there's a lot of people who watch Saturday Night Live who are like, I have no idea who this musical guest is, because they're not, they'll grab somebody who kind of blew up on TikTok or things like that. But I guess some girl I'm sure we talked about the people that are new on the show, but I guess one of the girls went to Oberlin.
Yeah.
And so they're talking about her around Northeast Ohio. Jane Wickline is one of the 3 new cast members. And again, it used to be, when you hear people who have been in the cast over the past half century, they all have these stories about how they auditioned and how, they had to do impressions, or, it was a very quiet room there when they would audition because Lauren wouldn't laugh. And Marcy Klein wouldn't laugh, and sometimes Tina Fey would when it got to be her time to sit there. And so there's all these over the generations of people who've done Saturday Night Live. There've always been these great stories about their auditions, and people we all know who auditioned and didn't get it, like Jim Carrey auditioning, Kevin Hart, and all these people who would audition for SNL and not get it, but go on to have their own careers. And now I don't think it's like that anymore. Because for a while they were just using improv people, they were using Second City, they were using groundlings, and then comedians would, stand-ups would move in, and now it's a whole big mix of everything. But it doesn't seem like they're really, I'm sure they have people audition, but it seems just as likely now that they'll call somebody who has a ton of people on TikTok and go, hey, how would you feel about being on Saturday Night Live? And it's got to be a weird shift now, too. Because it was such a brass ring back in the day. If you got picked up on Saturday Night Live, it was such a big deal. And now they're kind of like, if you're 21 and coming out of college, like you probably, Saturday Night Live is probably, it's still on television, and that's a big deal despite what people think. The show still prints money and all that stuff, but it's probably a much different thing now.
So,
you have people voluntarily leaving the show because they're like, this isn't for me. Molly Kearney and Punky Johnson, all these people are like, it's not really my thing. It didn't,
From what I understand, they held auditions at, the only one I know of was The Stand. I don't know if they did it at other comedy clubs across the city as well, but they had a couple nights of auditions, and it was a mix of stand-up comics, impressionists, and improv people.
Yeah.
And you had to be invited to do the audition. It wasn't something you applied for. It wasn't something that you sent a tape out to somebody. You were specifically invited to do this audition, and then people from Saturday Night Live watched. And then from there, that was months ago, from there it was a series of callbacks in person and screen tests and like all this other stuff too.
Yeah.
So from what I've heard, that's kind of how it happened this year.
Well, I would think that it would also be part of writers going to. You probably don't go directly to Lauren. You go to one of the producers or something, and you go, "Hey, there's a dude on TikTok," or that's how James Austin Johnson got discovered, is he was doing all that stuff on TikTok.
And that was Marcelo. He was
on social media,
he was
and so it's like
huge on TikTok, and then got an audition.
You're good on, because obviously social media now, if somebody's good on camera. You don't even have to wonder about that anymore. You go, well, there they are. Camera likes them.
But it's one thing to be good on camera. It's another thing to be good in front of a live audience.
And
that is a whole nother challenge.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess that's what some of the people at the stand were saying, was that just the level of confidence in the stand-up comedians versus like the TikTok people or the impressionists.
Right.
Because they are not used to being in front of people. They are absolutely terrified.
In their bedroom
to be,
doing TikTok videos.
And
you get multiple takes.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do that 50 times in a row if you need to. And they were just saying that just like the stage presence alone, the difference between impressionists and the stand-ups, that was like crazy.
Yeah. Well, the 50th season debuts this Saturday night with Gene Smart and Jelly Roll. I just saw Jelly Roll show up on them. I don't know how many people are watching this show. It's on Paramount Plus. It's the guy that does Yellowstone. He's got like 40 of these similar kinds of shows. He does Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner, and there's a show called Tulsa King, and it's Sylvester Stallone, who is a mobster who gets out of prison in New York, and he is sent to Tulsa, Oklahoma partially as exile and partially as, hey, get things up and running for us in Tulsa. And so he, goes out to this thing.
This is almost the pound cake story, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Get things up and running there.
And I guess Jelly Roll he was in this most recent episode, but I was reading that was his big acting debut. And I was like, oh, because he played himself.
Oh.
And so I was like, he walks in and everybody's all excited, but Sylvester Stallone's character doesn't know who he is. And so everybody is kind of laughing behind his back because he thinks Jelly Roll is just some guy who walked in. And then he starts singing, and everybody's like, that's great. And then he's, but I don't, other than that song we play, I don't think I know any of Jelly Roll's music. I mean, I've seen him and I know what he does, but we play that one song. But other than that, I know he's a big, big deal and seems to be a nice guy.
Supposedly like one of the nicest guys ever. I've never met him, but.
Maybe you will.
Maybe.
Now, will you call him, if you meet him, do you call him Jelly? People have stage names.
Mr. Roll?
Yeah, people have stage names. I never know if you're supposed to call them.
You probably put your hand out, hi, I'm Mary, and then he'll say, nice to meet you, I'm. And if he says Jelly Roll, then you call him Jelly Roll.
I
If he
see.
says,
I'm Jelly
Tom,
Roll.
Yeah.
Jason. Yeah.
Yeah, if he says,
Hi, I'm Jason. Like when you would meet Kid Rock, he would introduce himself as Bob.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go, hey,
He wouldn't go, my name is Kid.
He would know because you already knew
with
that.
Everybody, yeah. What if he did that with everybody?
Everyone.
He just keeps meeting people and he
Yeah.
does that again and again. And it's like, oh, can't we do a group introduction here?
He's terrible in the line at a wake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because it's so loud and it's, yeah. So a Jelly Roll over on that Sylvester Stallone show. Is Jelly Roll coming to Cleveland? I know he's playing Columbus next month. And he's doing arenas. Mary could go see him, and you like that country stuff.
Yeah, he opened, he came out and sang New York, New York. Was that Frank Sinatra?
Frank Sinatra.
He came out and sang that at the beginning of the Kill Tony show when I went to that
Oh,
Madison
okay.
Square Garden. So
Well, he's doing the
he's
Garden.
around, dude.
He's doing the Garden on Friday night.
Hey.
Should go see him. But I wonder if he's a guy that's going to end up losing weight. People are giving Lizzo a hard time because Lizzo has lost a substantial amount of weight. She's not like Christina Aguilera skinny, but I mean, Lizzo is visibly thinner. And so that puts you in a weird position because you've been a champion of body positivity, which for a lot of artists is code for if you're fat, don't worry about it. Because then they get mad when people get body positivity should mean at any size, right? But it never turns out to be that. Body positivity is only for people who are heavy. Because Lizzo goes, well, I just want to get myself into a little bit. I am a performer, for Christ's sake, and I want to get myself in a little bit of shape. And of course, everybody comes for her Knives Out to the point where she's like taking social media breaks and stuff. Because it's the age of Ozempic too, and celebrities don't want to admit that they're taking Ozempic. And I think she denied it. She's like, I've just been kind of locking things down. And
Why not, though?
Why not what?
Why not admit it? Now be like, yeah, I'm a celebrity and I have access to things that you don't have access to.
Especially since everybody's going to assume that about you in the first place.
Right.
But what if she's not using Ozempic?
I mean, she might not be, but for the people who have and are weird about it, I don't understand that. Why not just be like, yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Right. Especially since, well, and some people have. Who was it that was like, oh, Tracy Morgan? He's like, yeah, Ozempic. Took Ozempic. Lost a bunch of weight. Now, that you would expect that from him. He doesn't strike me as a guy that would be like, no, I just did a bunch of lifted weights.
I feel like he's got no secrets. No filter on that man. He's thinking something. He's done something. He's telling you.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Are people going to like Jelly Roll if he gets really skinny?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
as long as he can
he's got a hot wife, right?
Yeah.
So, you have to worry about that. I got Everclear tickets for you. Art Alexakis. I don't know who's in Everclear these days other than him, but they're coming through. And they're going to play with Marcy Playground and Jimmy's Chicken Shack a couple weeks away, October 16th.